This is the chart of the person in Saturn, Mercury. He gave the inside information in the stock market, in the trading, which was illegal, and that call cost him almost jail. He was fined $2,000 and he had gone through a legal case in which he was banned from his jobs. Imagine, and that nice, innocent Mercury in the 4th house. So after this video, you will be able to confirm if that benefit will really give nice results, or maybe there is something hiding which can spill to the other areas. We will be answering the question how in this chart is showing that he will go through this legal case in which he will be permanently thrown out of his profession. Then he was working in the art gallery, and also how he was forced to lie, how this is shown in the chart, and also the things related to him paying that fine to avoid any further legal problems. We will also see that this specific type of client coming caused the whole problem, so you will also be able to identify such people. So let's roll the intro and start with the first point. So tell me what kind of crazy exotic justification you had to give me to explain why this nice Mercury in the 4th house would give such a problematic situation. You would say, oh, this is Marana Karakastana. That's true, but it is also exalted, so it is beating it, right? So after some time, it should be quite nice. And even if that is Marana Karakastana, it has no connection to things related to legal case or all those problems which will following this sequence of events. So we will see how this is showing legal case, the ban, the fine he had to pay, and almost the jail situation. So first we will start with the Rasi chart itself. We will be using different dasha system here. For those who are a little bit more advanced, we know that the moon here is calling for the Utpana dasha. So in your software, you will have probably the option to choose that dasha. If you have moon in the 3rd or 11th, this will be much better indicator of what's going on. We have to also understand that each dasha is divided into the major periods, and then within that major periods, you will have again 9 sub-periods. And in that sub-periods, you will have sub-periods. This is the way how Vedic astrology is giving us opportunity to time things in a more narrower period of time. So the big one is called Mahadasha, the second one is the Antardasha. In this case, this was Mercury Antardasha, so the sub-period was of that Mercury. The sub-period is, I would say, most important because this is the nice blend between you, which is the Mahadasha, and also the event. So you are in the middle of that with your mind and with your social standing. Therefore, this Antardasha is very important to understand what's going on. We have to also follow the Jaimini Sutra, which says that 6th and 11th are the Hara and Danda, so these can show the punishment. So things like legal cases and just being punished by any form, always these houses will somehow be seen in the Rashi or in the Navamsha. So the 11th house in Western astrology is much more positive. In the Vedic astrology, some say that this is the worst house. To be able to understand that more, we have to also understand the Panchanga dosha. These are specific position of planets in the degrees also, which are showing that the planet is afflicted. So for example, in this case, this Jupiter in 11 would not be so problematic, especially with that nice moon, if not in the Gandanta. So the Gandanta is totally changing the face of the planets, what it can give. So in the normal Vimshotri, the whole thing started also in the Jupiter Antardasha. Therefore, we now can understand that this Jupiter being the 10th Lord also is not in such nice position as it seems. For all things, when you are in the wrong place and in the wrong time, always the 9th house or the Lord has to be involved. Also, Charakaraka problem. If Atmakaraka is rejecting something or other planet is rejecting Atmakaraka, this also create a big problem. In this case, Rahu is Atmakaraka. Rahu will reject everything in 2nd, 6th, and 9th from its position. Here we have this 10th Lord Jupiter and Amatya Karaka. So we have 2 are in the 6th from the Atmakaraka Rahu. So it is a problem. Additionally, we also have the situation where the Amatya Karaka, which is showing the career, the boss, is the moon. And the moon rejects everything in the 8th from its placement. And then we have Atmakaraka. So it's like soul is rejecting the career life situation, and also the soul of the boss or the soul of the career is rejecting you in this chart. So if we would follow the normal YouTube routine, right, the Lagna Lord in the 4th, the 4th Lord in the 4th, then we would get nice information about the property, the comforts, maybe the education because it's Mercury. So very nice thing should follow, but it was totally opposite. Now, I don't want to be the fun killer for you, but it's never that one position will tell you anything detailed or literal. It is just not possible. Even in the Parashara, Shastra, we have information that, for example, to check father, you need to see the sun and the 9th from sun. So we have always tips to check other levels. In the Sarvarta Chintamani, it's also said that we have to check the house, the Lord, and the Karaka. So these 3 are minimum you have to check, because the sun must not always show the father. It is the general ordering or authority principle which can take different roles in your life depending on your chart. We can reduce the possibilities that it will be father by including the 9th Lord. So now we have sun and the 9th Lord. So for example, by including the 9th Lord, we are excluding the health, because the sun may also show the health, but then it would be sun and the 1st Lord or the 1st house. So sun and the 9th is more about this guiding principle, authority, the seniors and things like that. But even then, it may be someone from your community which is taking that role. It's not be your biological father. So for that to confirm, you have to go to D12. So this is how we are going from the broad principle to the narrower by adding the further principles. So imagine someone comes to you and tell you to guess the actor based on their name, the color of the eyes and the hair, right? Sometimes you could be lucky, but in most of the cases you will be totally off. So if someone is telling you that he will tell you a literal detailed things based on the one planet position, you now can understand that it's not possible to draw with the white brush very detailed, nuanced drawings. You need to have also very thin pencil for that, like Varga charts. All right, guys, if you'd like to know what is in your chart, in which dasha or period you are now, and how this is impacting your career life or relationship, maybe you have some important decisions to make, or maybe we can see your yearly chart. What are the months bringing to you? Then please consider booking the consultation. You can find the link in the description. All right, so what is showing the legal case here? How we would go to anything like 6th or Badakesha in 6th, or anything related to at least to A6, right? Or Mars, the Karaka of the legal cases or the conflicts. In fact, we have 3 bridges here. The first one is we have to always understand the bigger context, which is the Mahadasha. The Mahadasha was Saturn. And then the best way to appreciate the relationship between the Mahadasha and Antardasha, or one of the best way, is the Anubhava. This is when we are counting from the Saturn to Mercury. So from the Mahadasha to the Antardasha, then we count the same distance. So we will land in the 6th house with Rahu there, the 9th Lord, right? So bad luck, which is ending with the legal case. We have also Mars and Ketu, dispositor and aspecting that Rahu, which is confirming that this 6th house is opening for us, but in the bad way, related to like conflicts or things like that. We got the confirmation with the lights going off. Just like we added the another light, we will have to also add another principle, which is probably you know, because we discussed this many times, and you are probably on that level if you're on that channel. Ucha Nata. Mercury, being an own sign or exalted, will deliver its results to Rahu. And Rahu in this case is in the 6th house, right? So that big Mercury here, Lagna Lord, 4th Lord, so it's like half of the Kendra, is delivering the results to Rahu in 6th in the Ayush Nicha, right? Rahu in Scorpio is some very stressful situation, could affect negatively the health. So total change from this nice Mercury now to that Rahu in Scorpio in the 6th house. Then we have the Anitya Karaka, which is dispositor, and aspect of that Mars on that Rahu. As we said, this is showing the legal case. Other thing is that we will observe that both in Rashi and in the Navamsha, the trikona to that Mercury is Mars Ketu, right? So this innocent Mercury has in the 9th this Mars and Ketu. And in the Navamsha, Ketu and Mars are also in the Trikona to that Mercury. So there is some hidden baggage with that Mercury. It's like on the front, looks very nice because it was his decision, Lagna Lord in the fourth. Mercury could show some form of financial transaction. Aruda Lagna is there, so he was working within that financial sector. But there is some baggage which is coming after we extract what the Mercury is. But there is some additional baggage behind this nice Mercury. So how to see that he had to pay, right? We have this 11th Lord in the 12th. This is like part of your paycheck is going somewhere, right? Where it is going, Mars and Ketu is showing that fine or punishment because it's Mars and it is the 6th Lord. Now, that was kind of his way out of this legal issue because there was a threat of jail for him and this payment was ending this legal case. And this we can see by 6th Lord going to the 12th. So this is like ending the legal case. How? By seeing the other lordship. This is the 11th in the 12th, by paying that fine. We can also see that in the Navamsha that the Mars would be 12th Lord in the Lagna and Jupiter would be the 11th Lord in the 12th. So that connection is also confirmed both in the Navamsha and also in the Kashinat Hora, the special chart for the finances. This is how this legal proceeding was finished and he escaped the jail time. Now, what is showing that this work has ended? We have this Gandanta, which is more showing some disappointments, but 10th Lord in the 11th. 11th is always ending the job. We also have to understand that 6th is very much representing the being employed in the Rasi chart, because we know that he was the assistant in that broker company or that investment company. And 6th Lord is in the 12th. Outcome of this legal thing is that he will be banned from his job. 6th Lord is in the 12th. And as we can see, this can give many indications, right? We already said that this legal case is ending and also he is getting out of the job, right? So we would say, oh, so we can ascribe here many interpretations. And that's true for different people. The same yoga will have those umbrella of options. Therefore, we have the Varga charts, which can restrict what's going on. In those astrological tradition where you don't have those Varga charts, as you can see logically, there is no other options. You cannot find any other solution to that. You will be left with so many situations which can manifest. Also, we may see that when the planet is leaving a house to its 7th from its position, is like a maraka. So this may also show I am leaving the place, right? And maybe if it's the fixed sign, it could show the permanent leave. All right. And we will see that in this chart, those going to the 7th from its position repeats in many places. We have 6th Lord in the 12th, so it's going to 7 from its placement. 10th house from Moon is Saturn, which is also going from 10 to 4th, so also 7th house from its placement. In the Navamsha, 10th Lord Saturn to the 4th, again leaving. And in the Dashamsa, also 10th Lord Mars in the 4th. So in all those situations, he is leaving the 10th house to the 7th from it. It's like leaving the career life. And also we had this Charakaraka and this punishment point. So all of these together, they are showing the possibility that he will be banned from that profession. And of course, that has to be confirmed in the Dashamsa. And how to see that he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Always you need to have 9th house or 9th Lord involved. Here the Rahu is the Lord of Aquarius. Aquarius is the 9th house. So the center of that yoga is created by the 9th Lord, the Lord of Fortune, or in this case, the bad fortune. And how to see he was forced to lie. So that lying part, this is very interesting because there is, in the Utpana Dasha, it was all in Saturn Mercury. All right, we see that Saturn is a very many years Mahadasha. Mercury is also a big Antardasha, so many years can fall into that Saturn Mars or Mercury Saturn periods because they will be very long. So Utpana was like that, but in the Moon Vimshotri, which is also working, which is more showing how the interaction with the people are happening in your life, then there are more changes because the Antardashas are shorter. So we can see the progression of the legal case. This is very interesting how he was lying, then this was this guilty thing, then he was acquitted with that fine and all that thing, right? So in that situation, when he was forced to lie, it was exactly Mars-Saturn. And we know from the tradition that all the 4 kendras will hold some important quality of yours. And if there are malefics, or especially if it's between 2 malefics, then this quality will go down. If it's between 2 malefics, you may be forced by circumstances or by other person to compromise that specific quality. And for the first house, this is about truthfulness, about satya. And therefore, this is revealing that he was forced to lie, right? Saturn in the 2nd, Mars in the 12th. So 2 malefics in 2nd, 12, exactly in the dasha of Mars-Saturn. Without the dasha, we could say, oh, you are justifying the things. But with the dasha in Vedic astrology, we are exactly knowing in which time which planets are activated. Okay, guys, I think that we already have some minutes here. So maybe we'll divide it to the second part in which we will be revealing how now this is exactly manifesting in that specific way using the Navamsha and Dashamsa. So that will be in the part 2. Subscribe to be notified when this part comes. And thank you for being here with me. If you would like to know how to rectify the Navamsa chart, then please consider watching this one.